Hi, my name is Veronica Parks, and I'm a soul healer and wellness coach. And anything I can do to put a smile on your face and make you fall in love with you, that's what I'm here for.
So thank you so much for sitting down with me today, Veronica. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me here. It's an honor.
Absolutely. So what do you think people's first impression of you is?
Depends where you meet me. If it's on a dance floor, probably the biggest goofball because I'll be around walking around dancing with everybody. If it's on social media, I do a lot of education on nutrition and wellness and how to heal your body from inside out and make you fall in love with you. In fact, I started a 30 days of love and healing on Instagram, where every day I get to share one tool that can make you healthier, happier, and more in love with who you are. And today we're actually on day 23. The reason I want to mention this is because there's a huge giveaway. So for the person that gets the most active, using the hashtag and so forth, I give away a healing session. So even if you watch this afterwards, make sure you direct message me and say, hey, I've watched this podcast. Can I please be considered for the giveaway? And I will take that in consideration.
Well, that's nice of you. So what made you do the 30-day challenge? Why a 30-day challenge?
I've never done this before. Normally I do sessions one-on-one with my clients, but I was in a meditation. And if you're in the spiritual world, I just asked the higher power to give me a guidance for the next thing to do. And I was thinking I'm going to do something on nutrition to improve your immune system, especially during these days. And what I got is 30 days of love and healing. And I'm like, love and healing? What do you mean? And when I started doing it, which was a tremendous amount of work, the hashtag that I was using got me to realize that September is the month of suicide awareness. And that's when it hit me. Nutrition is only 10% of what makes us healthy. But if we don't find the root cause of the problem, if we don't do things to heal our heart and soul, you can eat all the kale and spinach in the world. It's not going to make you happy. So the whole premise behind the 30 days of love and healing is to share as many tools, practical tools that you can apply every single day to become happier and healthier as a person.
I love that. So I would assume that the tools that you are putting out for this 30-day challenge are tools you've implemented in your life in some way. What led you to this path?
Oh, it's a long story. I don't know if we have time for that. Ultimately, I grew up in Europe in a small third world country called Moldova, and I had a tough childhood. And when I say tough, I mean in any possible way. I've been through tremendous childhood trauma, including sexual abuse, bullying, you name it. The only thing that I haven't experienced is somebody holding a gun to my head. So going through life, I built those walls around my heart. I was pushing people away because I didn't want anybody to find out what I've been through. It was instinctively, I took that as my fault. Like, I had to be a bad person to go through all of that, right? Because otherwise, if I was a good person and God loves me, like, why did I have to go through all of that? So I became obsessed to become the best version I can be from inside out. Because the facade, the physical part that was given to me, who I am as a person from my heart, that's something I had to work on. And mainly starts from falling in love with who you truly are and knowing that if one day everything is stripped away, you still have that value of a beautiful soul that nobody can take away from you. So going on this journey, healing my own heart, being able to speak about everything that happened to me with a smile on my face, I learned a few tools on the way, and now I'm grateful and humbled enough to share that with my clients. Because at the end of the day, everything that we've been through, it's merely a training. So I had to heal my own little heart to be able to do that for others.
Was there a turning point or a place of awakening for you, or a specific incident that made you go, enough's enough?
Yes. I moved to US 14 years ago. Never took an English class. Still learning to this day.
Well, you're doing great.
Thank you. I got into a relationship that was physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially abusive. And I'm talking from words to black eyes to anything that you can imagine. And I stayed in the relationship for 2.5 years, and not a single person knew. We are in love with each other, but we're also really bad for each other. And I remember this day, I'm in bed, it's already noon, and it's already sunny outside because the sun is coming through the window, and I'm smelling the sweat of my body because I haven't taken a shower in days. I started gaining weight because I was using alcohol and food to fill in that emotional void that I had in my body. I was so mad at myself for staying in a relationship like that, for allowing somebody to treat me that way. So I remember that moment. I sat up, and I think I was going through some major depression. I couldn't talk to anybody, and I looked down the window and I said, what if I just jump? It'll make it easier for everybody. Nobody cares about me anyway. And then the next thought was, well, the best you can do from a 2-story floor, you're gonna break some ribs, but then you still have to deal with it. And plan B would be a gun, which I don't have. So I started laughing at that moment. And that's when I remembered the little girl that had all these dreams, that went through life studying, working hard at everything I had to build a beautiful life for myself. And I looked in the mirror and I said to myself that I will never, ever, ever allow anybody in the world to treat me this way. And I have to start with me, because our relationship with ourselves is a direct reflection of a relationship with others. So anytime somebody treats you bad, it's because you are treating yourself bad. So the biggest thing for me was to forgive myself, to learn to fall in love with myself, to learn to love the good and the bad, the light and the dark, to truly know who I am. And when that happened, everything shifted. But that was the beginning of my spiritual journey.
How did the people close to you handle the conversations?
They were all shocked, because from what the perspective they saw, I was always happy. I knew how to put that smile on and just hide my pain. So everybody was shocked. They were like, oh my God, you were so madly in love with each other. How did you have an abusive relationship for 2.5 years? To me, I started with yoga. That helped me build myself up and start putting the pieces together. So I became obsessed with yoga, and meditation, and dancing, and nutrition. And eventually I came across NLP, which is Neurolinguistic Practitioner. I met this amazing man that noticed that I had fear of heights. I couldn't even go on a balcony and look down. And he's like, do you want me to take care of that? I'm like, what do you mean? So I closed my eyes. He talked to me for 30 minutes. Never had fear of heights ever since. And something clicked. I'm like, wait, if I can get rid of that, then I can clear out all the crap that I've been dealing with since my childhood and not carry that with me, not having to protect myself in relationship to others and just have a better life. So that's when the true healing began. Because I could read all the books in the world, go to all of the workshops, have the most amazing friends lifting me up. But until I went on a subconscious level and released the emotions from the first point of trauma, when you go within and you know who you are and you fall in love with that person, nothing in the world, no person, no circumstance, nothing that is happening right now in the world can affect you. And when you get to that point, your life is bliss. I'm told by many people, they're like, oh, you just live in your own little fairy tale world. You're looking through those pink glasses. So can you, my friend. Because happiness, it comes from within. If you're a miserable person and you've got all the weight that you carry, you can have anybody around you giving you everything that you need and you're still not going to be happy. Because it starts with you. And I truly believe that you are perfect the way you are. And sometimes you go through life and you've experienced some traumatic moments. Somebody broke your heart, somebody hurt you in a certain way, and you carry that weight with you. And when you go into a next relationship, you carry that weight. You're not giving yourself 100%, you're giving only 70%, and then 40, and then 30, and then you have so many triggers that nobody can fit in your little box. So I want to invite you to consider doing the work on a subconscious level and falling in love with you, because you are beautiful and you are perfect.
It speaks to exactly why I do these shows and why I do these interviews and why I talk to all different kinds of people. First of all, I find people interesting. You call it nosy, call it whatever you want. But the fact of the matter is, I think you and I talked about this before we turned the camera on. We're all a little bit the same, but I like the way you put it in terms of you are perfect the way you are. And other people's not understanding you doesn't make you at fault.
Of course.
And I think that is one thing that I hope people get out of watching these interviews and watching everyone's story and identifying with it. There's so many things that even you've said that I can identify with, or even think of a story that I could relate to from my own existence.
Yeah.
Having said that, what is something that would surprise people to know about you?
Surprise. Oh, I'm going through a surprise right now. I started a 21-day fast. And you have to understand, I love food. Food is one of the biggest pleasures in my life. So talking about saying yes to a true challenge, this is my food. I got my lemon water. So for 21 days, first week I get to eat one vegan meal a day that has no protein. So that week ended yesterday. This week is all liquids, so all I get to have is water and tea and one green smoothie a day. By the way, if you go to my bio, you can get the recipes. And the third week, it's only water. Now, this is challenging on so many levels.
I'm hungry just listening.
Well, I said yes, and I was terrified and excited at the same time because I've never done anything close to. My mind is more clear. I'm more focused. I've been able to tackle down projects that I had on my to-do list for a while, because you use a lot of energy to digest food, especially if it's processed food.
Well, and especially if it's things that, like, quote unquote, don't agree with you necessarily. Then you
call
feel
them
sluggish.
UFOs. When you put something in your body that doesn't come from Earth, that is not in the holistic, natural form, that's UFO.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
There's a quote that I would love to credit the person. I don't know where I got it from, but it said, if you eat food made by people in white coats, you're going to see more people in white coats.
Oh, I love that.
I want that to resonate with you for a little bit.
Well, I can't thank you enough for soaking in the vitamin D with me on this wonderful,
amazing.
It is a beautiful day and a beautiful conversation, and the things that you've shared are so near and dear to you and deep within you as well. And I hope that the people that watch this can kind of see that it's okay to share, especially some of the things that you touched on.
Yes.
Last but not least, unless there's something you'd like to share before I...
Actually, I do want to offer, because of what I'm experiencing lately with so many people going through anxiety, anger, sadness, because you have all this time and now you have to deal with your thoughts. You don't work maybe as much and whatnot. So for your audience, if you go to my website, which is vpexclusive.com, enter your name, because I will be offering a live healing session. So when you go there, what will pop up, it's from abuse to abundance. So whether you've been through sexual abuse or an abusive relationship, whether it's work or with a partner, and you broke your heart and just it ripped that confidence from you, and you're still carrying that pain, join me for this workshop. I will help you release that like a backpack that you've been carrying your whole life, and it's absolutely complimentary. So vpexclusive.com.
So the things that you've touched on are ever so impactful, and I think giving people the opportunity to share their experiences, especially to be able to release if they've internalized them like you did for so long. I can't thank you enough. I feel completely humbled by you sharing with me and now with the people that are going to watch this. So thank you.
Thank you.
Last but not least, as you are out and about, when we can be out and about, but
every day I go in nature, I hug a tree, I lay on the grass. There's a lot of healing you get from that, so don't underestimate nature.
Absolutely. I did see you hug a tree the other day. So in regards to that, so while you're out there in nature and experiencing life as we can nowadays, if you had the opportunity as people walk by to just hold up a sign that would tell them one thing about Veronica, what would you want them to know?
You matter, I love you, and life is as beautiful as we create it.